Hey everyone, my name's Mark, and in this video series, I thought I'd look back at some of my older explores and perhaps just provide a bit more commentary, a bit of insight, and that sort of thing. Some of my earlier videos didn't really have a lot of information, so hopefully this will help out, and also gives me a chance to have a look back at some of my earlier stuff that I haven't watched for quite a while. So recording this in May of 2020, so we're a couple months in now to the coronavirus lockdown. So look, I hope everyone out there, wherever you are watching this, is doing well, is doing best they can during these times. Here in Australia, I'm in Adelaide, South Australia, and our lockdown hasn't been as harsh as a lot of the other areas in the country and indeed around the world. So we're actually looking to have some restrictions lifted next week, I believe. So that'll be nice. But it has made it rather difficult to get out and explore new places and take photos, record video, that sort of thing. So sort of stuck inside for the most part. So just give me something to do, something to upload to the channel, and I hope you enjoy it or at least get something out of it. So this first series of videos we're going to look at is basically my return back to YouTube in 2018. My channel does have videos going back to as early as 2017. That's when I started uploading, but then I took a break for about a year. Different factors involved that. I mainly focused on Instagram during that time. And then in late 2018, I started uploading again, and then the goal from there was to upload a video every fortnight through 2019, which I think I've done for the best of my knowledge. So we're going to look at the first few videos that I shot there late 2018. They were filmed in November of 2018. The idea behind them, there was I did a trip from Adelaide down through southeast South Australia and shot a number of places through there. And originally I wasn't planning to shoot video. I was just going down there to take photos and for Instagram, but come across this first place here, and then I thought, got to get the microphone out, got to start recording some video, and so that's where we'll start. So first one here, abandoned hoarder's house, stuff everywhere. We'll start with that one. So most of my earlier videos here did have this little intro that I made up, but then I stopped using it after a while. So just in an abandoned farmhouse. So this place is just outside a small town down in South Australia, just on the outskirts. It's really hidden by trees and grass and scrub. It had a massive garden out the front that was just completely overgrown. But it was one of the first places that I came to where there was pretty much all the possessions left behind from the previous occupants. Most places before this, a lot of the old farmhouses are pretty cleaned out. There's really not much left, maybe a couple of bits of furniture. But this one just had rooms, just boxes and just stuff stacked everywhere. This room here, you couldn't even get inside. It was, it was just everything just thrown in there. And that interesting, some of that furniture wrapped in plastic, like they're trying to preserve it. That cupboard there, just there on the right. But then the rest of the house was just in such a state. The ceiling had collapsed in one of the rooms there. Quite a lot of books, quite a lot of kids' toys. So this wasn't on this trip I done, I think this was the third place I visited. There was two others before I explored. I only took photos there, didn't take any video. But then from this one onwards, I did start recording video as well. And unfortunately, the audio in some of these videos here isn't great to start with. I didn't have things set right in the camera. I hadn't done audio or video for quite a while, so I sort of
would say it's been empty for
didn't have things set the way I wanted. But that's right, we learn, get better.
It's like late 90s, isn't it? Just try and look for a magazine or a newspaper or something like it.
So yeah, one way to try and find when a place was last lived in is look for a book, look for a magazine. I think that was I forget the year on that. 2006 was it?
Quite a few books here. Golden Circle books. Golden Circle.
But yeah, newspapers are great. Calendars, if people leave calendars up, and magazines. Try and find a date. It's very hard sometimes to work out exactly when these places were last lived in. Decay can be a weird thing, depending on the conditions.
Little golden book, that's the one.
Yeah, I think given how close this place is to a town, it's probably being picked through by scrappers and other people. Yeah, this is the front yard I was talking about. Probably would have been really nice once upon a time. There was also a bee's hive up in the ceiling there.
Okay, well, I think that'll do it here. Thanks for watching.
So yeah, that's first video done. So yeah, that place I found rather interesting, which is why I started to do a video on that, and wasn't sure if I was going to put it on YouTube at that time. I had thought about it in the past about coming back to YouTube, but yeah, it was a good start, and I kept recording from there on as well. So next one we have. This one here is the house destroyed by fire. We'll just skip through this intro because you'll get sick of seeing this.
So I just pulled over to have a look at this abandoned house, but it's a little bit of a sad one.
Yeah, so this was out in the country. It was a farmhouse. Now, I didn't know at the time when I was coming here whether this would actually be an abandoned place or what. I was judging it on a Google satellite map, I believe. So I didn't really know what to expect, but walking up the driveway, you could see this was burnt out and definitely abandoned. There was no one living here.
Small electronics here. There's a printer, there's a computer.
So I'm going to say after this fire there probably wasn't anything worth salvaging. I did find the story on this. It was a newspaper article, and it was, can't remember the year. It was 2011, 2013 or something like that. Can't exactly remember, but it was just before Christmas, and there was no one here at the time. So people were living here, of course, but there was no one actually here when it burnt down. I think they were either away on holiday or something at around Christmas time. So not the best Christmas present to come back to.
You see a stack of DVDs, It's a PlayStation 2 game. Looking at all those blue cases, probably quite a lot of PlayStation 2 games. Or PlayStation 3.
Everything's just, well, not much you can really say that this is what fire does, I suppose.
So yeah, it doesn't look like they were able to salvage much out of here at all.
I'm not really sure the reason why this place hasn't been
That's the
cleaned up, or hasn't been demolished, or
dining room.
anything like that, or where the previous occupants went.
There's remains of a car.
Yeah, there's a car left there. Good.
And quite a few motorbikes in here.
Yeah, so
5.
this was definitely sad seeing this. You've got a small motorbike there, probably for the kids. You've got the bigger ones there, probably for the
kids.
the parents.
So
So yeah, not nice to have to come back to this
I'm going to say there was a
and
family
find
living
everything's all
here. No
being
idea if anyone was
burnt to
injured
the ground.
here at the time.
But everyone was safe, I suppose, in the end. So that's
Quite sad to see this happen to anyone.
a plus.
It's an outboard motor.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much
Yeah, not the most fantastic place to be taking photos of, but
pretty much all there is to show at that place.
it's on the way, so
So yeah, not I guess not ideal place you want to be exploring, but it was on the list, and I was already walked up there and started looking around. So took a few photos and did this video, and then left. Never touched anything. Never went in the house itself or disturbed anything. You do want to be respectful whenever you're exploring. It doesn't matter where you are for that matter, but a place like this, you just don't want to disturb. Maybe owners will come back and clean it up eventually at some point, but who knows? So yeah, let's move on then to the next one here. So this is the abandoned fish factory.
hey guys, and welcome back to another abandoned exploration.
This is one where my
Today,
talk about audio
we're
issues.
taking a
The
look at an old
audio didn't record through most of this,
This is
so I recorded a
South
voiceover
Australia.
afterwards.
Now, I did forget to turn the microphone.
This place has actually been demolished,
First part of this video,
I've noticed.
So I'm just going to do
And so I can give the location. It's in, it was in Millicent,
factory is
just
pretty
outside
badly
Millicent
damaged.
in South
It's,
Australia.
pretty much completely burnt to the ground. Well, I mean, excluding the main structure, but everything inside is
And yeah, it's no surprise they knocked this down. This was very unsafe. I didn't even walk into parts of this.
or it just wasn't worth trying to navigate.
It's
through,
just
all
too
the
dangerous,
ground.
whether
So
something falls on you or trying to
we
climb
were
over
pretty much at the back of the
burnt and
factory
broken
now.
bits of metal. Just wasn't worth it. So
Now, I believe that this used to be a fish processing or seafood processing factory at some point. Not exactly sure when it.
I think
closed down.
this
it was a few years
was
ago.
site was used for a
It's,
number of different things, but
definitely in
the
a state of ruin. It's actually up on the market.
the
at
last
moment for
thing it was
sale,
I think it was a
doesn't look
seafood
like there's been
processing
any
factory.
interested buyers, or at least no one that's done anything with the property.
It had rained quite a lot that day,
Just walking back to the,
and
stepping back towards the front there, but we'll just go into this section.
yeah, everything had a sheen to it.
Is, just
But yeah, all this was destroyed.
That's the rest of the video.
We'll just come forward through the video a bit.
Okay, so I just realised that the microphone wasn't on for the entire.
This is just in. I think this is the offices in the of the factory. I don't think these had actually been burnt down, but these were definitely
Look at that in a second, but
cleared out.
although maybe I'll just do a voiceover on it. But yeah, basically, quick rundown is
Also been quite close to a town. There's been
factory part looks still
a
being
fair amount of vandalism through here. A lot of windows broken. A little bit of graffiti, not as much as you'd think, but some pretty cool graffiti, which will I think is coming up here in a bit.
Oh, the roof is that way. There's a ramp road that goes up there. So probably trucks would drive up to the top there and dump whatever they were dumping. That's just a guess.
Let's come forward a bit.
Going up there,
Yeah, this room here. I don't know if that fish there on the wall was original art there, or whether that's been painted after it's abandoned. But yeah, this whole site has been levelled. Last time I checked it on Google Maps, this is now just an empty block.
a big open area, perhaps a lunchroom or a break room.
But yeah, this I like this rhinoceros.
Best guess.
That's really cool.
Rhinoceros is quite cool.
Whoever painted that.
Just heard a door slam. Don't know if that was in here.
So there was actually a business operating right next door. And even, I think this is a weekend, I think it's either a Saturday or Sunday, but they were still working over there. But they never noticed me. So yeah, I think that's probably about it for this video. Just some empty rooms, just been trashed. Or not trashed, but just been scrappers have gone through and take anything of value out. So yeah, that's the abandoned fish factory. Nothing really there, unfortunately. I think it was, if I remember correctly, this place was abandoned and then burnt down after it was abandoned. After it was shut down. So might have been a stage there where it would have been nice to look through before the fire damaged everything. But I only found out about this place probably a week or so before I visited it. So, which is normally the case with a lot of places. So, all right, let's move on to the next one here. This one here we're called Abandoned Farmhouse Left to Decay. So yeah, this one was quite a cool place actually. It would have been a very, very nice house to live in, very nice area as well, very green, very good views. But it's been empty for quite some time. And still is, as far as I'm aware.
Farmhouse here. This one's been abandoned for quite some time, I think. And
so a bit of salvaging had occurred here. I noticed some of the wooden floors had been taken.
Clothes and general stuff like that.
But again, this one isn't.
Taking some photos.
Well, it's not that far from a town. Although it is out in the country a bit. It's not a place you could probably walk to easily.
Toilet.
But every window in here had been smashed. Every single window, which is quite a shame.
Quite a big house.
Because I think this is still a place, if someone wanted to, they could buy it and renovate it and live in it. Some of the floors are a bit flaky, but I mean everything else looked to be in decent condition. But this is quite common, especially in South Australia and probably other states as well. But farmhouses just left here, abandoned. There's so many of them.
I think pretty much every window in here has been smashed out. But no graffiti.
So yeah, over the years, I'm going to say probably some kids have come in here and smash the windows, as kids do. What have we got in here? This is toilet and bathroom, I think.
And a bathroom. Decent hole in the ceiling.
So not a real lot more to say about this place. There was a few possessions left behind here. That fireplace was really cool. But to me, I think this was probably an older house that had some quite a lot of renovations done to it, quite a lot of modernisation. That first room where we started, I think, was an addition, and this looks like this was part of the original stone building.
Old stone chimney. This floor's a bit bouncy. I don't like that.
Yeah, those floors were quite soft. I think quite a lot of water damage had been through here.
Encyclopedias by the look of it.
Probably due to all the windows being broken. Yeah, so books and children's toys are quite common to find in these old places for whatever reason. I don't know why. Clothes as well, I suppose. But yeah, when people leave, they leave those things behind. Maybe families grew up here and the children all moved out, so when the adults decide it's time to finally move, it's don't need to take the children's stuff with them.
Spider webs. So this is a kid's bedroom. There's some old school books here.
Yeah, that's right. There was So this is actually one of those times where you can see names of people that used to be in here. This book here, as well as a couple others over on the table there, were children's school books, and they had their homework and their stuff like that in them, and their names, which I never try to show. I don't know what I did with this one. Never try and give out people's names if you can help.
8th of February 1991. So
91. So that's
coming on 30 years ago.
Yeah, nearly 30 years.
Not necessarily means that's when it was abandoned, but looking at the state of this, wouldn't surprise me if this has been empty for 20 years.
Okay, more stuff, just more books, mostly children's books, all thrown there on the ground.
Lots of children's books here. Just books in general.
I think maybe the one piece of furniture left, that bit. which comes to an interesting thing whether there was a squatter living here, although it's not really close to any town, so I don't think anyone was squatting in here, at least not for any length of time.
And yeah, this is just coming back to the main hallway. So it looks to be some stairs here.
Those stairs were quite weird.
An attic of some sort, but
because
yeah,
they're just,
climbing those today.
they look like they're permanent, but they're in such a strange place. They're in the
Be careful.
in the house. I don't know. Plus, they were half broken. I don't really know what the deal was with those. But I did go up. There was a manhole in there, and there was probably they might have stored stuff up there in the attic area.
Yeah, another room just full of papers.
Yeah, again, this just things just thrown on the ground. But a very, very nice part of South Australia. It's always green.
So yeah, there you go.
Always green. Rains a lot.
Interesting little house.
Very nice views. But
Always good to see.
probably the farm was probably bought up by larger farmers, and then
Completely
people that lived here
empty.
moved out, and then no one's ever moved back in here. It's just left there to rot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's probably. Oh no, we do have a look at the shed. We'll skip forward up to
Quick
that.
look, although I don't think
I think there was a car up in here. I forget what sort of car that was.
I don't know exactly what it is. Like everything else around here, it looks like it's been smashed to pieces.
If anyone knows what sort of car that is, let me know. Leave a comment. Unless there's a badge on the back. Is it a Sigma? I don't know. No, it looks like it's been debadged.
Bit of a shame to see it like this, but that's what happens.
Alright, I think that's pretty much all of that place.
Southeast, south.
So yeah, just a farmhouse. A lot of farmhouses on my channel. I love exploring those, to be honest. I love exploring out in the country and these old places. The older the building, the better, in my opinion. So yeah, they're easy. I don't say easy, but they're fairly easy to find. But you do have to drive a lot, and also go to a lot that aren't abandoned until you get something that's good. But yeah, like I said, this was part of a trip I'd planned out through Southeast South Australia. So yeah, hit up quite a number of these. What have we got up next? Okay, this one that's coming up next is definitely one of my favourite places. So
This is another abandoned farm.
so yeah, this is an abandoned farm, but it's actually a heritage listed homestead.
Quite a big location.
Very, very old. This is going back into the 1800s. I think the 1860s, 1870s.
Is it near the back of the
And it was actually quite a significant site
the servants' quarters or something along those lines.
as well. So I don't really want to give too much of this out because
Fairly basic.
I don't think this place is completely abandoned. It was,
Kitchen.
besides these rooms at the back,
Servants' quarters, or at
the
least-
main part of it was actually all locked
at
up,
least they would have used the
and there
kitchen
was
here
still
for, feeding
furniture
animals
and stuff inside there that you could see.
More modern
Um,
ovens here.
so it's possible that
60s, 70s.
people that own it use it as a holiday house
I'd say.
or come back periodically.
Would be late 80s.
Nothing was really, well,
built.
on the main part of the house, I think the veranda had collapsed, but all the windows were intact,
On that, but it's just
all the doors were locked.
So the stonework, the condition everything's in.
So yeah,
Let's
so
go down to the front. You'll see that's a little bit more modern. But,
so yeah. The other reason is
there's a big
is
shelf in the
don't
back,
really
and
want
I
people to
think
find out
that's
where this is as well. It's not that hard to
or
find.
something like that.
In case the wrong sort of people find out
Up there yet.
and decide to break their way in, which as an urban explorer, never break your way into a place unless it's open
Flying around some of these
and you can
rooms,
walk in, then you don't go
I
in.
might stay away from them when I see them.
So these rooms at the back,
I reckon that would have been toilets for showers.
shearers' quarters, I believe. So
There's a bathroom for the servants.
we'll get to it in a minute. But there was a massive shearing shed
Workers,
up there on the hill
farm workers.
with a lot of old equipment in it. So yeah, the workers probably would have stayed down there, and
It's a bit of a track up here.
it was self-contained, had kitchens and beds, and
We'll go up the top and see if there's anything to
bathrooms.
see. Okay, so here we are. As I thought, this is a shearing
So
shed.
yeah, this is a
Quite a large
shearing shed.
Uh,
very, very old shearing shed, and some of the original equipment's still in here, which you don't often see. A lot of shearing sheds, even if they are old, have been modernised. This one seems like it hadn't really. Well, not completely. So there was another house over there. I didn't
Distance.
at the time. I wasn't sure whether that one was abandoned, but I believe that one is also abandoned. That house, but I never went and looked at it. Maybe just save that for another day.
That comes off the road a bit further down. But yeah. So yeah. Bit of stuff still left in the shed here. We've got an old wool press. There's of course the shearing stalls.
I said these are shearing stalls. I don't think that's the case. I think that's where they do wool sorting, or they put the wool in there
I
and
believe that's a machine to
work out where it needs to go.
shearing tools. I might be wrong. But
I think I could be wrong on that as well.
Yeah.
I've been in a couple shearing sheds, but
the machinery they used to
I think
run for the shears.
yeah, I think over here this is where they would have done the actual shearing,
Well, I'll actually say this would be
because the shearers hook up their equipment
they'd sort the wool.
to that.
I have worked in a
Yeah.
shearing shed, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, so very, very, very cool. One of the nicer sheds that I've been in, abandoned sheds for that matter. A little bit of graffiti here, which I don't know what the deal is, was it? But
That's just looking back at the servants' quarters.
very nice views here as well. This would have been a really, really
And,
busy farm
down below that.
back in the day, I would imagine.
Up there it looks like a huge rainwater tank. Used to be.
So now walking back down towards the house.
Yeah, just going back
Trying to think
the
what else there
house.
was here besides the main house, which we'll get to in a minute. I'll skip
Okay.
forward through some of this.
A shed just here to the left, but
Right. So this
Yeah,
is
the
this is
main
coming
house
back
here
into
is
this is the actual main part of the homestead.
at least
And,
I haven't found an entrance yet. But
Yeah, this was all the doors were locked, all the windows were intact, so no one had forced their way in here.
it's like a patio
At least
area.
not when I was here. Interesting is that I looked at those plants and thought, well, that's weird. Why are they green? Someone coming here to water them, but they must be fake plants because it doesn't look like anyone visits here very often.
There does seem to be a cellar down
That blue
there.
shed there had a bee's hive in it,
Huge bee's nest in that.
so I didn't really want to walk to that. And there was a cellar
I'm only here by myself.
past that down there in the bottom right. But I didn't walk down in there, but I do get a shot of
Go around and have
in
a
there
look at
through the
courtyard,
window
'cause that's
in a minute.
actually pretty cool. We'll go to the courtyard. Let's just show you this car.
Oh yeah, there was a car over here in the shed.
an old camper trailer, I believe. Some sort of old Mercedes. That's all I can tell you.
It's been there a long time. Not in very good condition.
And some sort of old camper trailer.
Yeah, so again makes me think this place isn't 100% abandoned. I'm sure someone must come back here and check on it, and may even use the main part as a holiday home. This is really cool. So this is into
Okay, this is the courtyard.
into a courtyard area. So I believe this place also used to serve accommodation for travellers many years ago.
Here's I'd say well, but it's not a well, it's a rainwater tank.
Yeah, most of this just looks untouched. It's very cool. Would have been very nice to get in. You know, if the door was open, you could go in and have a look, because I'm sure it's interesting inside. The limited bits I could see did look like there was still furniture and things inside, but
Let's see.
so I'll just skip forward through the video a bit, because this is just walking around the front.
When I come in, but
I think there's another shot through the door here
it's pretty uncommon these days.
into that patio area,
Back out at the patio on the other side.
and we'll come around and just look at the down to the basement.
Yep, and this is where that basement was.
So there was no real point
I could see the door too before.
of walking down here, because you could see everything basically through this
Nothing
window.
in here, though.
So yeah, I think that's coming up to
Okay.
the end of it. So
Well, I think that's all I can show you from this place.
yeah, so that was a really cool old house. These are the sorts of places I like to explore. Old homes, old stone homes built back in the 1800s, and they've got history to them, and natural decay, and that. And this one has been preserved fairly well. Although I have a feeling it's probably only been abandoned, I'd say not lived in for maybe 2 or 3 years. It's difficult to know exactly. And I worry that perhaps no one's going to live in there again, and it will fall into ruin, and will become like every other old stone farmhouse that's just been smashed and vandalised. And where this is located, that's very possible that could happen. I hope not. I hope someone does come back and live in it, or they sell it, because it is a heritage listed site. It is of significance. It can't be knocked down. It's got protection, so but it should be preserved, and hopefully the owners do something with it in the future. All right, so we'll come through. I think this comes through to the last video. And I named this one here Abandoned Vintage Car Barn Find, because that's basically exactly what it is. So yeah, interesting. This video has the most views on my channel for some reason. I assume it's because of the
Hey guys, welcome back
thumbnail of the old Holden. But yeah, I think this one has a bit over 4,000 views now, which is by far the most of any other video that I've put out.
That interesting. I'll have a quick look over there in a minute.
But yeah, a very unassuming place, this one.
And
It's just a house and a shed,
quite a bit more interesting in here.
and you would have no idea of what's sitting in here. and I hope it's still there.
There's been livestock in here. I can smell
Or I hope someone's taken it to restore it,
it on the ground.
because
Come here.
I believe these cars are worth quite a lot of money. I think it's an FJ Holden. Someone did leave a comment
And then we have this.
on the original video.
Oh, this is pretty nice.
But
This is
yeah,
an old Holden now.
FJ Holden, one of
100% sure on what
the earliest
model it is,
Holdens built, maybe one of the first Holdens built,
unfortunately.
and I assume they're in high demand, especially for
yeah,
restorers.
It looks to be in pretty nice condition, really.
And this one looks
Which
Looks
I
very
guess is
restorable.
Probably, I don't know, 50s.
so. I've had a lot of people ask me where this is,
I'm not 100% sure.
but it's not a location I'll give out, because
So yeah, bit of a.
yeah,
I guess
there's a very high chance someone will come up here and steal it.
Certainly the best one I've found so far.
So
So I assume someone knows it's in here.
I guess it's just been stored. I guess as someone owns it and they're storing it in here until they can get a chance to restore it or do something with it.
Started up
This old tractor's pretty cool.
It's actually
as
ending,
well.
You know, it's pretty clean there. There's a can of Aero start up here, so perhaps there's an owner that.
So this is part of
so often and
a working farm.
and checks on these things.
So although no one's living in the buildings here, and
Sort of a bit of a shame.
it looks to be abandoned, the actual yards had had sheep in them. Not at the time I was here, but they were definitely been in here.
That good from the road, but yeah, glad I did.
But yeah, you would not know that that old car was sitting up
Old cupboard, but
in that shed.
nothing in there. The rest of the shed's empty, but yeah, sheep have been here. I've seen sheep out in the yard as well, down by the fence. Okay.
And I think the rest of the video we'll just come through and look at the
House quickly. There's not much of it.
look at this old house. It's not that interesting. It's and I didn't go in there because it was full of bees as well. Near the only door you could realistically get in. But looking through the windows, it looked empty.
Corrugated
Yeah.
iron house.
Yeah. Not sure how old this house is. It's probably quite old, probably going back to maybe early 1900s, maybe 1920s or something.
Just having a look in the windows, but there doesn't seem to be nothing in here.
But
I won't be going
it was
inside.
made out of timber and corrugated iron,
Explain that in a minute. I'll go around the corner.
from what I could tell. But yeah, not in. House is in a great shape.
Birds. Yep, empty.
And nothing in any of the rooms I could find through the windows there.
So there is a door there, but that doesn't look.
So
like
yeah,
really
that door was
open.
basically closed off because of the collapse there.
I don't know if you'll see in there or not. Too much reflection, but again, just empty room. And the other door
So yeah, I think
is
yeah, obviously being abandoned for a long
Yeah.
time, this place. I think that door you could probably get inside, but right next to that door, in that window,
or bees
there
hive.
were
Hive, I
there were
suppose.
bees. So
So
see them flying around there. You don't really want to disturb them. They can make
the wall there.
your day bad if they decide to attack you. So wasn't worth risking going there.
But this looks to be a bit of a extension on the back of the house.
Mm.
You can see it there. That's the chimney.
So yeah, that's
there's a sort of
basically
Tin with
all there was of this place.
I'll just poke the camera in here.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I believe that's that was the final video. So in that series at least. So yeah, I very happy I found that place actually. That car was probably one of the best finds I've found in my explores. Although the rest of the place wasn't that interesting, that car was very cool. Not often you come across old cars that are in good condition like that. I can only think of a handful of times where I have, and yeah, it's places like that, and people constantly ask you, "Where's this to? Where's this to?" And yeah, you just can't say, because as soon as the wrong person finds out, they'll go there with a trailer and probably take it, and or even worse, someone will go there and smash it up. So, which you don't want. So yeah, hopefully the owner there of that car does decide to restore it, or maybe move it to a safer location, because where it is there, it's not, although it's not easy to find, you'd have to stumble across it by accident. Yeah, probably would be better off in a shed where someone can start restoring it. But yeah, that's the way it goes. All right, guys. Yeah, I hope this video works out all right. Yeah, it's fun looking back at some of my older content, and places I went, and what I seen there at the time, and then just to add in a bit more extra information, of the experience and what I've seen, and yeah. So hopefully you enjoy it, and if people enjoy it, I'll probably do another one and look back at some of my other videos. But yeah, until then, I shall see you next time. Cheers.